Constitution, which means I'm one of 8 California constitutional office holders. So I always joke and say that the Board of Equalization is one of the most influential worth of property that is assessed by 58 county assessors. And after the assessors assess, they assess the $6.1 trillion worth of property. It is now they're bringing in $70 billion. And of that $70 billion, about $35 million goes into public education. So the point that I'm making is that there is a direct nexus between the property taxes that we assess and in the public education. And the other thing that I want to make sure that I highlight is that particularly for the African American community, a lot of our home ownership is locked into, a lot of our wealth is locked into our home ownership. We have to be mindful. There are exemptions for churches, there are exemptions for nonprofit organizations, there are people that own their own home that grandparents want to give their property to their grandchildren, their children. There are exemptions for that. And I want people to be aware. I want them to contact me so that they know that these exemptions exist. These exemptions are exemptions in terms of lightening the load on property tax and the property tax assessment. And people have been, as you know, redlined in the 40s and 50s in our own very own Baby Hunters Point. And there is a correlation between property values and urban communities. And I'd love to come on the radio to talk a little bit more about it, but there is a whole historic element that I've been tapping into just to wake people up so they know the importance of the role that I serve in a statewide elected position. Also want to acknowledge that my position is written in the California Constitution, which means I'm one of 8 California constitutional office holders. So I always joke and say that the Board of Equalization is one of the most influential, important, little-known agencies that people know about, but are directly affected by.
And this is a bittersweet occasion in that a lot of people here haven't been around a long time. They wanted to come out today and acknowledge what Sam Jordan's been all about.
Yes.
So this is a situation not only affecting Black-owned restaurants, but restaurants in general in San Francisco. They seem to be closing left and right. What can be done in the next couple of years to try to support what few Black-owned restaurants are left and to encourage more investors to get into the Black restaurant business?
Yeah, Harrison, actually you tap on something that's really critical. And what you're seeing is our legacy businesses that have been around and been operational for more than 50 years, somewhere between 30 and 50 years. But what you're also seeing are new Black-owned businesses coming to the Third Street Corridor. I'm thinking about Auntie April's. I'm thinking about her business along the Third Street Corridor with Megan Mitchell. So there is like a new renaissance. There is a resurgence that we are making a concerted effort to support Black-owned businesses, not just here in Bayview, but in all of San Francisco. But you're right, this is a bittersweet moment because we come to say goodbye and say thank you to Sam Jordan's that's been around for decades. And you hear Ruth in the background and you see her brother Alan standing up there. That's why it was really important when I was a member of the Board of Supervisors that we dedicated this portion of Galvez the Sam Jordan way to make sure that we leave our mark in this community and that we also acknowledge our contributions to San Francisco. So I say that this is not the ending, but this is actually the precipice for us to continue to build on that legacy, to move forward, to inspire new businesses to come and make their home in San Francisco as well as on the Third Street Corridor.
And my last question, this will be on right before the polls close on Tuesday. So could you talk a little bit about the importance of this coming election this Tuesday and what we're looking at in the next year politically?
Yeah, well, what we're looking at here is, like you're starting to see